Hey everybody, my name is Nick Scott and I am a high school social studies teacher. So the assignment I want to talk about is one that I use Kahoot for. And what I like to do with pretty much all of the units that I teach is to do a pre-assessment using Kahoot. And I find that I really kind of like doing that for a number of reasons. But the one specifically that I want to talk about right now is for my financial literacy class, and we do a unit on paying for college. And the reason why I chose this one is quite simply because that's what we're talking about right now. October 1st, the FAFSA opens up, and so it's a senior based class mostly, and so it's kind of a naturally engaging topic for kids. Um, and so I guess, why I use this for pre-assessment is because it's a easy, quick way to assess what kids know. And I also like to use it as an opportunity to not only kind of get an idea of what kids are coming to the table with, but I like to use it as an opportunity to kind of introduce kids to some topics as well. So I guess in that respect, it's um, not just a pre-assessment, but even more of a formative one. So level of engagement with this type of assessment is quite high. So as a lot of people had talked about that use Kahoot or Plickers or something of that nature, it does kind of have that game atmosphere to it, and so kids are into it. I think also because I use it as a pre-assessment, there's no expectation that kids are coming to the table with a plethora of knowledge on the topic, and so it's a this kind of loose, relaxed atmosphere, and the kids really enjoy it quite a bit. So in regards to learning targets, I'm really kind of looking at, as I had mentioned before, just getting a baseline of where kids are at, and then being able to not only get that instant feedback as we do with this, but also using it as an opportunity to introduce kids to content. And so I really like how everybody is on the same question at the same time, and that we can pause and then talk about the correct answer and why the other choices weren't correct. And I think that's really helpful. I like it because people who are coming to, or students who are coming to the table with really no previous knowledge whatsoever about the topic, this gives them some sort of baseline, right? So, and it's really almost becomes like a roadmap for them of, where are we going with this unit? So, what does it mean when we say paying for college, and what are the different things that we're going to talk about? So I really like it for that kind of tool as well at the beginning of a unit. In regards to 21st century learning, no, right? Like very minimal, maybe a one or a two. It really doesn't require kids to do any kind of critical thinking or be autonomous or think creatively or be authentic. There's none of that, right? It's multiple choice questions. And so there's the obvious shortfalls that come with this kind of technology, and that's that it's timed. So trying to effectively evaluate what students know by giving them 20 seconds to read a question and read through the four options before choosing one probably isn't the best gauge of that. It leads to a lot of knee jerk kind of reaction answers. And it also leads, a lot of kids will start to strategize, right? So, like, oh, I'm 800 points behind, so I need to beat him on the time bonus, so I'm just going to throw down a guess, boom, right? And that kind of stuff. Um, and it's multiple choice. So it may look like they know it when they're just really guessing. And depending upon what I gave for options, they may be able to just eliminate a couple off the top, saying those are obvious wrong answers, and then choose the one that's the best. Um, and so obviously it has its shortfalls. What I and I know that there are other applications that may serve hitting the learning target of pre-assessing what kids know better than what this does. Um, the timer messes them up. But and I know you can use and just having the multiple choice questions, right? So that's not great either. And so Socrative or Google Forms, two other applications that I use for like a formative assessment after a lesson, where you can change up the types of questions, is and without the time constraints, right? Are better served for that. But when I look at kind of what I get out of this, by using it as a pre-assessment in Kahoot specifically, not Plickers and not Google Form or Socrative, I really like it. It's very engaging. And then I really like having everybody on the same question at the same time, because we can have that conversation. We can talk about why colors blue, green, and yellow were wrong, and why red was right. And again, like I had mentioned before, sometimes that is an introduction to the material that kids have never heard before. So when we start to talk about it and our lessons throughout the unit, at least there's something that they can kind of fall back on and relate to if they don't have any life experience with it. So anyway, that's kind of my spiel on how I use Kahoot, um, in as a pre-assessment for pretty much every unit I teach in personal finance as well as world history.